Hey, what's going on, everyone? Echo here. And I say that almost in every intro. Echo here. And what I realize is you guys don't know who Echo is. I've been thinking about doing this video for quite some time. It's going to be kind of scuffed, kind of all over the place because I don't do scripts or anything like that. So I'm going to be giving you guys my story. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Years, actually. But I didn't know how to come across doing it. If you hear my daughter in the background, she's watching Pokemon in the other room. So this is my origin story and how I became Echo, the game sage. Now, let me go ahead and start off by saying I did not give myself the name the game sage. That would be kind of ignorant and kind of weird. I was given the name the Game Sage from my older sister, who I grew up with, and I didn't really grow up with her. She, lived with her dad, and she liked a lot of the Japanese culture, just Asian culture in general, and she knew what a sage was, and she always called me a game sage. Sage being a wise person, but if you say, you're a game sage, you are wise in gaming. And that's how I got the name the Game Sage. So that out of the way. So who am I? Well, I have some pictures here that I'm going to be going over. Some video games in the background. I don't know if you can tell, but right there. Just some of the things that I grew up doing, and just, like I said, it's going to be sort of a scuffy video, but I'm going to do it the way I normally do. So, I grew up in Homestead, Florida. That is me in the red. Not that screen. I'm in the red. I grew up there, and I'm starting off with that because it was a rough time growing up in Florida, because I was born in the late 80s, and I kind of grew up in the 90s era. That being said, one of my very first memories is this. Hurricane Andrew. It changed my life. Imagine that being one of your first memories. Is your home being destroyed by a hurricane. One of the most deadliest hurricanes, ever of all time. People say Katrina and stuff like that, but if you lived or were in the situation that I was in growing up, my daughter, it was definitely a different kind of lifestyle after that. We had to move around a lot because just the way Florida was in general was just a lot different after the hurricane. Anyways, my biggest things that I had after that was, because of all the moving around, it was hard to make friends because I didn't know how long I was going to know them. We moved around a lot, probably 16 times or so from the time I was 4 or 5 to I was 16. So I didn't really stick around a lot in the same place. Let's see, what do we got here? This is my dad. His name is Alex as well. As you can already see, he's kind of a jokester. He's a prankster, and he kind of liked video games too. And he's what I have to thank for my video game lifestyle. He was a little rough around the edges. He was old school, He he came from the rock and roll era, But he was a great dad. We went out, and that's how we played and hung out and just did stuff like that. He got me some of my very first video games. Well, some of my very first ones playing on the original Atari 2600 and original DOS games. Stuff like Doom, Wolfenstein, just all those kind of old school games. One of my most memorable was playing, it wasn't Pong, it was Pitfall. Pitfall was a big game. By the way, if you hear my computer revving up, I apologize ahead of time. It makes it really hard for me to record, and that's another reason why it's so hard to record and stuff like that. But anyways, I had him, my dad, that's me, the one hanging upside down. He liked to race. That was his thing. Number 30. That's my dad. And he was all about everything being fast. But I guess, I don't know if he saw it early on or anything, but I was a very awkward child. I didn't really get along with a lot of people just because I was just weird. I liked video games, and that's all I would talk about. And I played a lot of them. About 1,757, I think I've beaten over the 25 plus years that I've been playing video games. Some of them not so good. Some of them really great games that I can still remember as if it was yesterday. Now that I'm a dad of my own, it's been a good callback because I came across some of these games that, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I came across this cleaning out one of my closets, just some old games. This one primarily changed to my world, Mortal Kombat 2. And I doubt you're watching, Preacher, but you're one of my favorite YouTubers, but I think I can get you in this, bro. You say you're good at Mortal Kombat, but how good are you really? I'm waiting for a challenge. I always grew up the kind of gamer that encouraged people to beat me. I wanted them to beat me. I was good, but I wanted people to be better. My two favorite things was video games and fishing. I loved to go fishing. It was one of my favorite things to do. Especially growing up in Florida, I was always close by ponds, rivers, oceans, and just enjoyed fishing. I loved the relaxation part of it. It was my own form of tranquility. I really loved just sitting out there, even though would be 100 degrees outside. I would still enjoy just going out there and just casting the reel and hoping for the best. When I got older, I got more into football. That's me, guys. I was a defensive tackle in a semi-pro league. I had the most tackles they've ever had in one season. I hurt a lot of kids, so I didn't enjoy it too much, but I was good at it. I was always one of the bigger shouldered kids growing up. But that also being said, I was also one of the fatter kids, and I always got picked on a lot. And that being said, my closest gaming buddy, my brother, he liked to play video games, but he was not a gamer. He didn't play games like I did. He preferred to do things like riding on a go-kart or four-wheeler, three-wheeler, and just stuff like that. Oh, boy. But I always try to stay close to him because I didn't have a lot of people in my life, but I always had him. He was my little gamer buddy. He organized some of these pictures. And I also come from somewhat of a gamer family. Like I said, my dad played, and these are my cousins, which they're big Halo players. My cousin here, this him. He played a lot of League of Legends and stuff like that, and he, I think it was like gold or platinum in that. So I came from a pretty robust gaming background. And then all the games that I've ever had, my goal was always to beat them. Like I said, over 1,000 games. Well over 1,000 games. Almost 2,000 games. Getting close to it sooner or later. But I always wanted to finish games to completion. But like I said, Mortal Kombat was what started off more of my competitive side. I really liked being able to push myself, see how good I can be. And that's, if it wasn't for things like Mortal Kombat, I wouldn't have ever tried to challenge myself to become a master in Overwatch, or go for a round first for World of Warcraft, or going for gold cap in WoW, or having one of the top win druids in US East back in Diablo 2 days. That was a big game for me. The game I took very, very seriously for a long time. It was very competitive. And also played the old school Pokemon. Never really got past Yellow. I was starting to do a series, but I didn't get enough views on it, so I kind of stopped, unfortunately. But I was going to go through Gold, Silver, and stuff like that. because I had never played them. And I wanted to see what it would be like. But I was that guy that would say, all right, you're going to verse my Bulbasaur and my Victory Bell, and I'll challenge any of your Pokemon. And I would win with just those two. Yeah, it was a little cheap. I mean, the rap ability back then was a little busted. Anyways, so let's go through some games that I used to play. Oh my god, that light. See that? Oh. Anyways, let's turn this here. So, you guys want to... So when I was growing up, I played almost every single console, probably besides the Dreamcast. That being said, so let's talk about some of my games that really affected me. Now, some people's games back in, let's say the N64 era was probably GoldenEye. Holy crap, that's blinding. Would be stuff like GoldenEye. I don't know how well you guys can even hear me at this point, but like I said, scuffed video be scuffed. But mine was Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. There we go. Turok the... Oh, there. Yeah. That was one of my favorite games. The fact that you needed a memory card and all that stuff was kind of annoying, but that happened. But one of my dad's favorite games right here was Super Adventure Island. I remember playing that with my dad. That was always really fun. It seems like everybody wants to do their lawn and stuff during my videos, so that's nice. I used to love racing games as well, stuff like F-Zero. God, this is so scuffed. Anybody remember that one? Then, after I, of course, mastered Mortal Kombat 2, MK3, MK Ultimate, MK Gold, beat all them. This is memorable for me because I used to play with my cousin, and one of the things that I remember the most was trying to unlock, like, getting on the ground. That was interesting. Video games also taught me how to read. It sounds a little messed up, but old school Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3 for the original NES kind of taught me how to read. Kind of had to. There was no voice acting back then, and moved all the way up to Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And these are just a little bit of who I was. Anyways, back to younger me. I loved helping people play video games. Oh, gotta switch the camera. There we go. I loved helping people play video games. If they couldn't get past a level, I was the guy they called. And I wish I could still make content like old school video games that you could just beat. Which is why games like Doom Eternal and stuff like that was such a refreshing feeling. Being able to beat a game again was just great. Amazing. And it's been years. I don't know why things aren't like that anymore, unfortunately. But anyways, then I got into my awkward years. Yes, my awkward years. Look at that stud. Then it was... Believe it or not, for being a nerd... I was always really popular with the ladies, just because I was never afraid to talk to them. Unlike some of the nerds of my time, and when I mean nerds of my time, we were just geeks back then. Back then, we were basement dwelling golems. If you want to be, if you want to have that outlook, that's just how it was back then. But I was a troublemaker as well. I did cause a lot of trouble when I was a kid. But video games kind of kept me out of trouble. So it was like a double-edged sword. And I think my dad probably caught that on a little bit. And realized, like, I don't cause trouble when I'm playing video games. Then I went through a spell of not liking people in general. And it wasn't because of video games or anything like that, but when I was in school, like I said, I wasn't very popular, and the people I thought were my friends betrayed me one time. And they, we used to have milk drinking contests back in middle school. And this was like my first experience with people that almost soured my taste towards just humanity in general. And I know it's a messed up way to think, but you weren't there. But it was, I had a couple of what I thought were friends one distracted me and someone poisoned my milk. Put like Arrowhead lead, whiteout, paint, and just a whole bunch of things into my milk. And then they would say, hey, let's race and chug it. And I would chug it, and then I passed out and I had to get my stomach pumped, drink charcoal. It was really rough time. And after that, I stopped trusting people, and I just stuck inside and stayed in my video games because, you know, someone tried to kill me at one point because of just me existing. Sucked. Then I would say after this phase, my little awkward stage with that hair, oh boy, 90s were fun, right? Early 2000s. But I started getting into things like Pokemon cards and stuff like that. I used to collect with my brother. We almost had every single card. Then I got into Magic the Gathering and things like that. And then I started taking my gaming seriously again, started going for like my achievements, my goals, my competitive streak that I used to go to. And now that I had the news that kind of hurt the most, and that was that I had RA. And then I was diagnosed with RA and bone and joint deterioration. Now, I don't know if gaming is part of your life like it was mine. But to be honest, being told that my reaction skills and my hands eventually, that's my hands, was going to be hindered, was going to hinder my gaming. I always wanted to be a professional gamer. Even before that was ever a thing. I always wanted to be, you know, call me up. I'll, you know, hook me up with like $1 and I'll, you know, get you past this, you know, thing in GoldenEye or anything like that. But being told that one day my joints aren't going to be able to be the way they used to be. I mean, we all get older, but I mean, I'm only in my 30s. And being told that my reactions and everything like that, even though I want to move as fast as I can, I'm always going to be hindered by a disease, sucked. And then that really affected me. And then, let's get into a little bit more happier things. I became a dad to this little dude. Now, he is my splitting image. That is my son. His name is Xander. And if you can't tell, this is me. This is him. He's my splitting image. And he was my little dude. He changed me a lot. You know, responsibility had to kick in and things like that. But now that he's older, and you know, that's an older pick, as you know, I just went through a bunch of older pictures, and that's an older one. But now he's 8 years old. My daughter's 7, and the twins are almost 2, and my youngest is almost 1. And now I get to see them, you know, do the things that I used to do, and it feels great. It's because I'm trying to get my son to play something like Ninja Gaiden, or anything, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or hell, let's go through some of these, alright? Let him try to play this one. That was almost impossible for kids, alright? Or, alright, you guys want to see a trash game? Trash game right here. That was such a bad game. I even beat games like Wheel of Fortune, Wolfenstein 3D. Imagine a kid trying to play these games now. Any other good picks? So many. Anybody remember that? Anyways. But yeah, now that I have my kids and they're older and watching them being able to play games themselves, it's made me think a lot about, you know, who I used to be. And as I said, every single time I open up a video, I go, hey, what's up, everyone? Echo here. And I just figured I'd give you guys a little bit of backstory of who I am and how I got that name. Maybe one day I'll tell you how I got Echo. Or, you know what? Screw it. I'll go ahead and tell the story. I was in a Counter-Strike clan in 1.5, 1.6, I think. Counter-Strike 1.6? Yeah, I think that was the time. I was in a clan called Military Madness. And we had the names Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Echo. And before one of our biggest matches, one of our comrades passed away. And to remember him by, I kept the name Echo. And then I eventually added the game sage from my sister, so that's how I got my name, Echo the Game Sage. But yeah, I know this video, I don't think it's going to probably be watched by a lot of people, or probably a lot of people aren't going to give a shit. But whenever I say, hey everyone, Echo here, it feels weird that you guys don't really know who I am. So I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of a backstory. It's just a short summary. If you guys have any questions for me about, if you want to know who I am any more than that, feel free to ask. What are my favorite games? You know, I can go through that, or give a top 5 of every console that I've played. What the most game-changing things that ever happened. Feel free to ask. I'm here to just provide you guys with whatever knowledge I got about video games. I would love to do more games on the channel besides things like Overwatch and World of Warcraft and just things like that, or just my first impressions. It'd be nice to be able to hop on and maybe play a game that is old school and beat it. Add it to my little ranking of 1,576 games. So maybe hit that 2K mark one day. But unfortunately, just those videos don't ever get views, so I always just end up playing them by myself. Who knows, maybe I might start doing it on Twitch. Who knows? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you do like it, please give it a like and subscribe. I'm almost at 500 subs, guys. It'd be nice if I can hit that 500. And I still want to challenge you, Preacher. But you guys have a wonderful day. Awkward video, be awkward. But that's a little bit of who I am. Peace out. Later.